Hi, this is David. I have no sir titles. Oh, I said sir. Sorry. I wanted to do a video on something that I think, and it's just one man's opinion, and I think it's a little bit important. We have a company here in Utah. It's called Energy Solutions. Now that sounds very much like a love court phrase, doesn't it? Energy Solutions. So what that means to most of us who think of, oh, Energy Solutions means, well, they're going to find ways of making new energy for us here in Utah. Well, yes and no. And mostly no. We have this huge building downtown Salt Lake that's a huge auditorium where we have sports events and all kinds of things, and it used to be called the Delta Center, and that was because of Delta Airlines was here in Salt Lake City. It was their home territory, and they paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to have their name put on that arena, and it goes on the road signs and it goes all over town, the Delta Center. Well, Energy Solutions moved in, and Delta moved out. And there's only one thing worse than a white and delightsome Mormon. It's a green and delightsome Mormon. Let me tell you why. And again, I'm not an expert on this. I'm just telling you what I've seen with my own eyes. Now, before I tell you what Energy Solutions does, let me tell you this story. I was at BYU, and that was sometime in the 60s and 70s, graduated in 72, and there was this big headline in the Salt Lake Tribune, which is the local paper in Salt Lake City, and all these dead sheep were laying on the damn ground. I thought they were sleeping until I read the article. Hundreds. I don't think it was thousands. I could have been, my mind. But many, many dead sheep laying on the ground. So I read the article, and of course, the officials of the Mormon state said they were just sleeping. They'd had a hard day grazing. The damn truth was they're all dead. They're all dead. Now, how did all of these sheep just suddenly in the middle of nowhere die? Well, I'll tell you how. Chemical weapons! Chemical weapons got opened up out there in the desert by the military, Hill Air Force Base up here in northern Salt Lake. Well, it's in Layton. I guess they fly over all the time, and their jets are magnificent. There's nothing like them. But they bomb out there in western Utah and eastern Nevada because there's only the Geico out there from Geico Insurance. He runs like hell when they fly over. But anyway, they either dropped a bomb or they opened some kind of nerve gas. And all the sheep got killed. They're dead. Well, the Mormons, they go, well, we need the jobs. Well, it didn't kill any people, and we really don't want to know what happened out there. We just believe that our garments will protect us from mustard gas or worse, anthrax. So anyway, I've seen it with my own eyes. I was there when the paper came out, and I was there. It was on the newscasts and whatever, and we really never found anything out except it was nerve gas, and it killed the sheep. So I don't know if they were practicing on sheep out there or whatever. Okay, here's the main point of my video. Energy Solutions moved into Salt Lake area, and they bought the right, hundreds of thousands of dollars, to put their name on the building downtown, Energy Solutions. So their name's everywhere. I mean, it's like Jesus. It's so accepted. Energy Solutions is so accepted in the Salt Lake and Utah area that they're a neat company. They're a good company. Now, let me tell you how the Mormons think this is a neat company. Energy Solutions accepts nuclear waste from all over the world and buries it and by the dead sheep. Jeez. Now, I hadn't thought about this a lot until my brain turned on, and I thought, good Lord, that's kind of dangerous, isn't it, to have all that nuclear waste buried out there in the desert? Well, Energy Solutions has a public relations program that's better than the Mormon Church. They say being green is funny. It's cool. And I don't know, maybe most of them are frogs, but when you see the Energy Solution employees in town, you can tell who they are. They're glowing green. So anyway, I said to myself, Self, how the hell does that energy get over there to them? And then I looked out and I saw we've got some pretty good public transportation in Utah. We have what's called it's not the Amtrak train, it's called the Trax train, and it goes 70 miles an hour downhill. And I noticed all of these railroad lines right up next to each other. We're fairly large because of the Golden Spike story, a railroad area, and I thought, damn, I wonder if that nuclear waste is coming in on those railroad cars that goes right by every house and building and town right here in the Salt Lake areas. So I thought, well, what if there's a train wreck? Are my kids going to glow? Then I thought, well, maybe they're more careful. Maybe the trains that do go through the subdivisions, maybe they move it on big trucks down the freeway. Well, you know, every time I'm passing an 18-wheeler, I stole one of those aprons from the dentist so that you don't get the radiation on you. You know, the police hate that when they see that up there. They know they can't see you and see me, but when I go by an 18-wheeler, I slap that sucker up there, roll two of them around my kids. I go, you know, there are truck accidents here in Utah, especially when it snows. So, Energy Solutions has been in trouble a couple of times, but it's hard when you're the Mormon prophet to get in trouble in Utah. They put out a advertisement. Now, right now, they just take low to moderate radiation. So you only glow one color, and they bury it. Now, I don't know how deep they bury it. I really don't. But, you know, if somebody put a bunker bomb out there from Iran and blew it up, all the Mormons would be green. They wouldn't have to wear garments. We'd all know who the Mormons were. Anyway, Energy Solutions decided they wanted to take a higher radiation from more nuclear facilities around the world. Now, I think there's only two in the United States. One is in Texas. That makes sense. That's George Bush country. And he glowed green as far as I was concerned. But anyway, the other one here is out here in Salt Lake City area. So they decided they wanted to take in some more dangerous and more radioactive waste, nuclear waste. So they did, without a permit, without going and getting permission to take it in. Well, they buried it, and they got money for burying it. Well, then they got caught. Now, what do when you catch a nuclear facility that took radiation materials that were unlicensed? Do you make them dig it up? Do you make them bring it into court for the witness list? They got away with it. They got away with it. So they collected the money. They got all the buco bucks to do that, and then they asked for a permit. Well, then the permit was turned down, I think, the first time, and right now I think there's some negotiation going on. But the state didn't make them dig it up. They didn't say, get it out of here, you don't have a license for that. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know how things go in Utah. If sheep die and people glow green, it doesn't matter because the Mormons control the legislature. Right now, it's getting less and less. We're going to vote their asses out of there because many of us here in Utah aren't going to leave. We don't like it, but we ain't leaving. We're going to vote your asses out of here. So anyway, if you see Mitt glowing at all in the dark, you know he's been to a fundraiser here in Utah. Thanks.